are going to read a book, and we are going to say a blessing over all of our girls and boys, and we are going to do Kiddush and Motzi. But first, the book, as promised. The book we're going to read today, and I'm very excited about this book, is called We Are Jewish Faces. And it is full of all sorts of folks, all who are Jewish. So every face you see in this book is going to be a Jewish face. And you will see some faces in this book that will look like yours. And you will see some faces in this book that do not look like yours. And the nice thing about all those faces that you're going to see is that all of them are Jewish. But there's a little special surprise hidden in this book. There are actually some faces in this book of some Jewish faces found right here in our own Houston Jewish community. So keep your eyes peeled and see if you recognize the faces that are in this book that also belong to some members of our own community. And maybe if you do spot them, maybe say in the comments who it is and maybe tag them. Maybe tag them, and then they'll know. Because I know they're in the book and they know they're in the book, but they don't know that we're reading this book this week. So that'll be a fun surprise. Fun little Shabbat surprise for them. Anyway, lots of Jewish faces. Some look like yours, some look like mine, some will look very unfamiliar. But the thing about all of them is that they are all Jewish faces. So let's begin. We are Jewish faces. There's a little boy with a Torah. Bubby faces. Zadie faces. Do you have a Bubby or a Zadie? Do you call your grandma and grandpa Bubby, Zadie? Maybe Sava Safta. Maybe, who knows? What do you call your grandparents? Brother, sister, friendship faces. Faces of all races and places. We are Jewish faces. Shofar faces, challah faces. What's a shofar face look like? Kind of, I guess, if you're like blowing a shofar. That'll be my shofar face. I'm not very good at blowing a shofar. I can. It's not very good. What a challah face. What does that look like? Maybe because you're stuffing your mouth full of challah because it's so tasty. Pesach. Purim, Sukkah faces. Hanukkah menorah faces. That one's coming up. We are Jewish faces. All these faces. Let's see, which night is it? That's the 8th night of Hanukkah over there. Just coming up. Noshing faces. Always good to have a good nosh. Field day faces. Reading, writing, recess faces. Smiling graduation faces. We are Jewish faces. Simcha faces. Simcha is a fun occasion like a wedding or maybe a bar mitzvah. Or a bat mitzvah, or bris. Sorrow faces. Sorrow is like very sad. Because sometimes we're happy and sometimes we're sad. They're both normal. Missed and kissed. And just bris faces. This is a baby boy who just had his bris. That's the ceremony that brings little baby boys into covenant, which is a special relationship between God and the Jewish people, and every individual Jew. This bar mitzvah is wearing braces. He is. I got my braces on right before my bat mitzvah. Do not recommend. I mean, getting braces is good, and having a bat mitzvah is great, but don't do them at the same time. Don't recommend. That's my dog. We are Jewish faces. In quiet praying or loud brass playing on staircases, in marketplaces. Ooh, this is a famous marketplace, actually. I don't know if you can see. I'll hold it up. No, which is a famous marketplace. This is the Shuk, probably in Jerusalem. There are, several of them around the country, but it's the outdoor market. You can buy pretty much anything out there. Fruits, veggies, bread, cheese, raw meat. You can do it. It's safe. It's safe enough. From city street to high mountain spaces. Wow. We are Jewish faces. Lots of different Jewish faces. They all look different. And they are all Jewish faces. So, did you see some faces that looked like yours? Did you see some faces that did not look like yours? They're all Jewish. And did you find the Houston Jewish faces in there? Give you a hint on this page. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed We Are Jewish Faces. Lots of different faces, all of them Jewish. Always nice to see so many fun and exciting times for Jews and folks everywhere. Now, what's Shabbat without a little bit of blessing? So it's my honor always to be able to give a blessing to our children right now. So if you are with children, if you're with any daughters, maybe granddaughters, and they allow you to put a hand on their head, you can do that now for our daughters. And if you are a daughter and you're watching this yourself and there's no one to do it for you, you can just give yourself a hug, put a hand on your own head, whatever you like. And over all of our daughters, I'll say, Yisimech Elohim, Kesera, Rivka, Rachel, Vayam, and God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, the foremothers of our tradition. And if there is a little boy with you, a son or a grandson, and he will allow you to or stand still long enough for you to put a hand on his head, or if you yourself are the little boy, and there's no one around to do this for you, you can put a hand on your own head. That's allowed. And over all of our boys, I would say, Yisimcha Elohim, Ke'Ephraim and Menashe, may God make you like Ephraim and Menashe, and all the good little boys of our tradition. And over all of our children, so like if you are just in a big group right now, big group hug. If you're by yourself, give yourself a hug. And if you don't like hugs, you don't have to do that either. It works anyway. So over all of our children, which is all of us, all of God's children, are all of us. For all the children, I would say, Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God give you all the blessings that God gives children, especially that of shalom, which means peace. And let us all say, Amen. Now, it's time for a little bit of Kiddush and a little bit of Motzi. I try to do like every time like a little bit of a different Kiddush cup. I mean, I only have so many Kiddush cups. This is the one I got when I first came to work here. It was a present from the congregation, from all of you. So thank you for my lovely Kiddush cup. My son loves to pull it off the shelf, so it's going to go to a higher shelf after this. So if you've got any kind of grape juice with you, you can hold that up now. If you've got pretend grape juice, you can definitely hold it up because, it's pretend. So over our grape juice or our wine, I have grape juice. We will say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. I think mine's starting to turn into wine. Anyway, challah. Ooh, this is nice. I did not make this challah, I'll be very honest with you, but I did make the money to buy it, which is almost as good. I would say just as good. So over our challah, if you've got bread of any kind with you, you can take that out now. If you have a pretend bread, definitely take that out for sure. Just feel it. It's a whole experience. Mine's shiny on top, so it feels very smooth. Maybe yours is rough. Maybe it's got texture. The bottom feels different from the top. Oh. So over our bread, let's do the motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. All right. Tastes like challah. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to Storytime with me. It's always wonderful to go back and read the comments after Shabbat to see that people listened and watched and enjoyed. And tell me if you, if you saw a face that looked like yours in our book, if you saw a face that did not look like yours in our book, and if you saw the faces found in our very own Houston Jewish community that are in this very book. Very exciting. Might have to go back and watch this, I don't know, a few more times, but you'll be able to find them. And let's see if they know that they're in it this week. Be a nice surprise. Thank you for joining me for the blessing, because it is actually really nice for me to be able to give a blessing. So thank you for that. And of course, thank you for joining me for the Kiddush and the Motzi. There's no better way to bring in Shabbat than with people that you love. And I truly do mean this when I say that I love each and every one of you. So thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Lots of rest, lots of good spirits, lots of time with people that you love, either over virtually, over a screen, or in person. Be safe and happy